Hey YouTube, we're about to go live with Dr. PhilGood show. You've got all this fancy stuff around you. You see all this change. Still not got it running without it lagging. So you're getting it without all the fancy stuff. So just come on in, and we're going to be like every other day, except we got a better background and the room and studio set up better. If you've noticed on the broadcasting, the videos I've put out, you've seen that we have test runs. Been doing a lot of different tests all week long, trying to get this thing squared away. I've got Restream, I've got OBS, I've got Roadcaster, I've got a lot of programs running through this computer, and it's still lagging. Let's see, start recording. And now does it get no audio? Oh, I turned it off. Your camera's a little bit crooked.
I don't have headphones, or I don't see them.
We're not using headphones.
Oh,
I'm not using any of this. It's just
Oh,
here for looks.
okay.
We're broadcasting YouTube over here live right now. Check 1, 2. No audio still coming through here. Check, 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 check. Is it coming through the headphones? Now it's lagging. Okay. So I've selected something that's got it. Stop. I'm about to give ChatGPT the boot because it hasn't done anything but screw it up from day one.
Oh, it's showing the edge of that thing. What, can you just move a little bit closer to the middle of the table?
I will, yes.
Okay, would you
Yeah,
do
we're
that so that I
fine
can set
right
the
there.
camera?
Look, yes. Oh, absolutely. I've been asking you to come in here and let me do that with you all week. Come on, come sit down and then you can do it.
I see that I need
Oh,
to
okay.
move it,
Here,
and
let's
you're
do it.
not where you're
Right
supposed
here.
to.
My wife is one of the most easiest persons in the planet to work with. You guys, I don't get any kind of medals or awards for it. I just get the old heavy cloak of I'm
Nobody's
Mr.
telling
CTE.
him that he's an
Here
angel
comes
either.
Mr. CTE. That's
Only,
the most
only I hear
difficult.
that.
Are you kidding me? That's what our conversation is about, nonstop, everywhere, on broadcast live, is how difficult it is to live
There's
with
still a
me.
whole lot of space on the
Yeah, there is a
side.
whole lot of space on
Well,
that
I mean, I
side.
can move here. It's fine. Okay, what time is?
I hope it's time for you to start, because I'm gonna tell everybody out here in YouTube
It's
land.
11:10.
I remember one time I was so mad. I was pushing this old TV from this house to the street, and I'm screaming out at 2 in the morning, CTE level. You better be good. You're good looking. It's one good thing we both got going for us is she's pretty. Doesn't help me, you know, in my CTE wars.
Oh, today is the 4th. Okay.
What is the 4th? Oh, today's the 4th, October 4th. All right, now I still don't have this
All
set
right,
up.
11:11.
Go for it.
Get that microphone out of my way. Good morning, good evening, good day, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. PhilGood show.
She's the one that called it feel good. She's the one that made me feel alright.
Thank you so much for joining in and, doing it regularly.
On a regular.
Big kudos for everybody who's been doing that.
How many of you in here are
Saturday
faithful every Saturday?
at 11 a.m. Central Time.
Oh, I see 5 of you over there. Good job.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. I would be recording over here, but look, it's totally lagging, even when I'm not doing anything.
Do you guys have any questions? And if you do, would you go ahead and drop it in the chat section? Because today we picked a topic that came out of a conversation with Jasmine, and there's a question that went something like this: how do we step away from all the chaos
I'd like to start with sponsors.
and show others on how to, and I like to follow the outline.
I know it, but I don't want to follow the outline. I want to start with the sponsors.
And why do you not want to follow the outline?
I'm
all of
just
a
playing
sudden?
with you through. I never follow the outline, but look, you guys might
You
get a hang
always
of.
do.
I
As a
never
matter of
follow
fact,
the
that's
outline.
that's what a girl, I don't want to name her, I just talked to last week, said that she saw you going back to the outline on a regular basis.
Oh, wow.
Which-
Thank you for patting me
which-
on the back. I didn't think I ever looked at it.
Which is
I-
really
I usually
incredible,
get-
because I thought this was only for me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, the
Yeah.
outline is for me. And
Thanks
she
for
goes
pointing
like,
it out to her.
"No,
Thanks for pointing it out
I
to
see
her."
David going back quite often. And looking
Of
at
course,
it."
I could have argued for myself that, but then it's just useless.
So
She won't
anyways, the
listen to me.
question was, how do you
Thank
step
you.
away from all the chaos, whether it's politics, religion, your husband, or the stress
your
that you
wife.
cannot control, and show others on how to focus on spiritual healing instead of warfare?
How do you do it, Fru?
Are you guys even familiar with the term spiritual warfare? Because I heard it a
You're
lot
sitting over there like that.
in the past 6 years, if not more. A
Oh.
lot. It seems like some people are like, they have spiritual PTSD. I never thought about that.
It's possible.
They got stuck in the spiritual war zone.
Well, I consider thinking that we're in a war zone quite often over here, but inside, when you live with traumatic injuries in your brain, those are scars that nobody sees. When you have trauma in your body or in your past that no one else can see, it's the same thing. So warfare is warfare, and when you're at war, like what did I just do to get out of the war? While she's pointing at the husband that's causing the war, I walked out of the room and went and stood on the deck, listened to the birds, did my breathing and all the meditation that I never do, and I did it, and I came back in here and sat back down to have some more of a war. with
And
my
now acknowledge the Patrick Risha City of
Oh,
Wellness
yes.
Foundation as your
That's what I
sponsor.
wanted to do.
Please do.
I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, and now next week or the week after, I'm going to have this thing programmed properly, and you guys aren't going to just see a couple good-looking folks.
In the meantime,
You're
we're just
gonna
going
hear
to have
it.
Sammy barking in the background from excitement.
In the meantime, you're going to hear it like this. I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Patrick Rish's CTE Awareness Foundation. Thank you so much. You guys have stuck your neck out for a couple maniacs. It ain't just me over here that's crazy. You know that a person that marries a crazy person has to be crazy? You know
I
that.
actually
So-
just realized
Oh, you just realized that?
yesterday or the day before yesterday when I was talking to my mom that the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation was, Karen Ziegel was one of the very, very, very few people who called me personally when David was in jail. And she said, not only how can I help, but she said, this is how I can help. Because she was like, how can I help? And I was like, I don't know. And she said, okay, this is how I can help. So let me do
She wrote a
this
letter. I remember sitting in jail.
for you.
When I was in jail, my attorney came and met with me on 2 occasions. I was in there for a month. When he came to me the second time, he came in and he had a letter. Now, listen, I wasn't going to Bethlehem Church at this time.
Yep, that's the other thing that I told
but-
my mom.
But
that
the
church
attorney
put
sat
together a
down.
letter
The attorney
for
sat
you.
down with me and said, "I got good news for you. So this is just for you." And he just handed me over the papers and let me see. There was a letter from the Patrick Risha Foundation speaking up for me and about CTE and about me personally. And then there was a letter from Pastor Vasquez at Bethlehem Church speaking up for me. And then there was a signed petition with, I don't know how many names there was on it. I read them all and cried. I was just sitting there crying. It was very, and I didn't go to that church, but we're living Bethlehem now. See what kind of, when you consider people and you stick up for them, and you put your hand out, see what happens. I don't just go to the church. I am living right here in the community that stuck their neck out for me. While I was sitting in jail, that was a scare. You know, I went to jail for an old warrant that could have put me in prison for at least 10 years. That warrant was tough, and it all had to do with CTE symptoms. Every bit of it.
I mean,
had
if you
to do
looked
with
at it
CTE
from the
symptoms.
outside, it really wasn't that tough. Like, I mean, that's what's really ridiculous about the whole thing is that it was a text message of a confused man. You know, you read text messages and you go like, oh, okay, so this person is definitely, you know,
Well, if you read
lost
text
their
messages
mind.
from me very often, whenever I'm
Back then,
well,
especially.
even now, pastor's wife said something about me punching a bunch of people in the guts the other day.
About
I'm
that,
like,
but
what in the world did I
know
say
about
now?
that, but I know that back then when I read your text messages, no punctuation, everything together, and then everything just scrambled. So like you don't actually think that that person, you know, was speaking with a clear mind, right? There is no way. Anyways, I don't want to get too much into the details of this.
They were
That's not
there
what
for
we're
me.
gonna talk
Thank
about.
you, Patrick Risha
But
Foundation.
yes, Patrick Risha
Thank you, Bethlehem
Awareness
Church.
Foundation was the number one, you know, help I got at a level that I did not
Awesome.
experience, even from, you know, people in my personal, like, family or whatever. So thank you, Karen. We appreciate and love you. So we were talking, but I mean, as I introduced this idea for you guys, and David started to talk about stress and being stuck in PTSD. That's exactly what this comes down to. Why do you think some people are so stuck in drama? And so when you look at people who are stressed internally, it is kind of very normal to observe them being caught up in the external drama of the world. So, you know, I'm talking about politics, I'm talking about religion.
Here, let's make an example. You won't see me watching a debate. You won't see me watching
you won't
politics.
see me
You won't
either.
see me. I don't want to argue about what's the best cereal or what you think's good
Guys,
for you.
we
what you
don't
think's
don't
good for
watch
me.
that stuff.
I'm going to keep going a step further. I don't want to get in a debate about who's eating correctly today or what amount of caffeine I've had.
Beyond
I don't
my
want to get in
control.
any kind of debate because of the fact that I don't deal with it properly. I just went through a conversation with a neighbor whose dog was out of line and got hurt. And the whole entire time, I'm trying to express that I don't want to speak to you. I will speak to the elder person that gave birth to you, that lives right next door, because that person I can deal with, I can talk to. But right now, I'm dealing with things that cause me to black out, say things I don't want to say, act the way I don't want to say, and I don't want to deal with you. That person looked at me and said, I'm a nurse. Then get in your car and leave, nurse. I'm talking to you, nurse.
Go to work.
Because it doesn't do me any good to get in a spat of rage. That's how I ended up. This is what this arrest was all about. Someone got me fired up and I can't talk, and I'm trying to text and I'm saying things that are confusing. And your hair is awesome. I love it. Beautiful hair.
So when you look at people,
So staying out of those places
who
are the best
like
for you.
those places, you know, who look for fights, who are, you know, like obsessed with what's going on in politics, no matter how bloody or, you know, cruel it is. Those people, I can guarantee you that they deal with a lot of internal stress. And how I can guarantee you is that when the nervous system gets stuck in fight or flight, that's when people are portraying a behavior that's showing for situations that are externally match that kind of energy that they're dealing
Hey, remember
with.
that little study you did on addicted to drama?
Yeah, this is kind of like that.
It is this. It is that.
This,
It's not kind of
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
It
this
is
show
that.
is kind of like that.
So addicted to drama. It's just like being addicted to drugs. People get addicted to that state of conflict within themselves, and your body puts all these chemicals out, and you know, all the dopamine and serotonin, all these mixes going back and forth, cortisol. Your body gets addicted to those things, and so your reaction, you know, I'm working to get out of those things. I'm working to like sit and listen to the birds, and I've been working hard for 6 years. You know that society is for the birds. People are, you know, I like dogs.
Yeah, because you have to.
I can
so
train dogs.
If you're stuck in fight or flight, and so it just you guys understand it. I'm not picking on people who are stuck in fight or flight. I've been there, but also that's a very typical behavior for trauma survivors. They're the ones who are most often.
And she's
stuck.
a trauma survivor.
And I'm
so
a trauma
she's not picking
survivor,
on you guys.
and he's a trauma survivor. So
No,
we both understand this personally. But the thing is that, like, because somebody deals with internal stress, that's what causes the nervous system being stuck in that state, and the stressors are not just mental.
This means
or
time out.
emotional or physical.
I'm very sorry, Patrick Richard. We did not announce your
StopCT.org.
website. StopCTE.org.
We will do it at the end
Yes,
of
we
the
will.
game.
But I wanted to.
So
get to
the stressors are the stressors can be mental and emotional, but they are not just mental and emotional. And so that's another thing that we have to consider when it comes to this question, is that there are environmental toxins that are going to increase this load of stress that we're dealing with. So quite honestly, this is like, again, not,
This is the allostatic
not
load, by
pointing
the way.
fingers or anything, but you guys, it is already scientifically proven that watching the news damages your nervous system. Ask anybody who works with neuroscience, and they're gonna tell you that one of the worst things that you can do for your nerves, for your brain health, is to watch the news.
Yep. Bad news, suckers. Bad news.
So-
Good news is good to watch.
So now you add the toxic load that comes from the environment, and you're creating oxidative stress, and then you're creating this allostatic load being way over the top, and then everybody gets sick.
Now,
Your immune system is weakened.
We're
Yes, go
gonna
ahead.
we're gonna discuss how we can help calm these systems down.
Absolutely. We're not
So
just
we're
gonna
getting
discuss.
there. We're getting there, folks.
We're
Stick
not
around.
just gonna discuss.
We're gonna show you.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I've
So stick around. This is what we're gonna be.
So we
getting through
both
today.
seen this in our life, and when we stay in constant stress, our bodies break down. So you know, when you're depressed, for example, that weakens your immune system. When you are angry and cortisol floods your body, that weakens your immune system. So that's where later on we're going to talk a little bit about how the scientific research that has been done on muscle activity, kinesiology, and how based on that information they actually Dr. Stephen Hawking created this chart where there are higher and lower vibrational energies or emotions that we all generate in ourselves. But for now,
And as an example, I want y'all to see, like if you watch this from the beginning, if you haven't, when we're done, go back and watch both of these. Will be broadcasted and you can watch it. My energy level when this show started, I'm ready to punch holes in walls. I'm ready to knock out lights and
which
stuff.
is why I put the quick heart focus breathing at the very beginning of the outline so that we can get that out.
I was definitely out on the deck right before I started, but I'm in a state because of a lot of different things, a lot of different toxicities that happened this morning that I was dealing with. So those are life. You're gonna have to deal with life, and how you get through it as an example, I'm sitting right in front of you, and Fru and I sitting right next to each other, dealing with high allostatic load of stress due to trauma maybe I've suffered from, suffer that what she suffers from. We still have to deal with these things, and as an example, we're in front of you showing you how it can be done. So by the way,
So
there's
the
hope.
takeaway from this is inner calm leads to physical healing and spiritual renewal. Because if you ever
Inner calm.
yes,
Now, in the
because
middle
if you,
of all this chaos, there has to be some inner calm within me to be able to do the things I'm doing.
well, and then also you have to have that inner calm in order to be able to bring awareness to your actions and create an ability to shift, you know, how you think, how you feel about them, how you're gonna do it differently next time. All that stuff is never gonna happen if you're always stuck in fight or flight. It's just not gonna happen. So let's do a quick heart focused breathing, and that's something that you guys can all practice, and it helps with creating that peace that you need in order to recreate a new personality, in order to get out of that fight or flight, and in order to recalibrate your nervous system.
Change the scene, in other words.
So that
You're
you
the director
can,
of
so
it
that
all.
you can improve neuroplasticity, which if you're not familiar with, I definitely suggest
All right, let's
you
do it.
look into it. All right, so for this heart focus breathing, we're gonna listen to some nature sound.
Oh, you can't play that. It's going through the headphones.
The headphones. Oh yeah,
That-
well you guys
we're not
can't hear
using
it
the
on
system.
my.
We're
You
not
can
using
hear
the
it
system.
on YouTube either.
No, I ain't got
All right.
anything hooked up.
So that's fine.
I
Just don't worry about it.
Yes,
So you
just
can
imagine the birds are singing.
yeah, exactly. You can do this outside if you're in an area where you can hear the birds singing or crickets, or if you're next to the ocean. What you have to do is place your heart on your hand on your heart center or your chest. And one of the greatest ways of doing it is by paying attention to your heartbeat, and then start to take deep breaths, which are kind of like, you can visualize that those breaths are going through your heart. So like when you inhale, you know, your heart fills up with air, and then when you exhale, your heart kind of deflates. And do this 4 or 5 times.
This works wonders on your parasympathetic. Is that what?
Yep. And then once you did this 3, 4, or 5 times, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of feel how your system starts to calm down. Then you can add a visualization, which again, bringing in nature without people who can cause drama in your life is a really good thing. You can also bring in pets, but only if you don't have any bad experiences. So like, don't imagine your favorite horse if that horse, you know, threw you off of her back, for example, and that's how you got your traumatic brain injury. Not a good memory. So try to focus on animals and nature.
Grandparents usually are good.
Or
Babies.
grandkids, or your
Babies.
children, or, you know, like getting a hug from your spouse, or something that brings it, that invites peace, love, and joy in your heart.
You change the scene.
So
Change the scene.
if you feel that you could actually generate an emotion that's regenerating, renewal, like love, like forgiveness, like
You remember a
peace,
certain time in your life when the child hugged
like
you by
joy,
the neck and said the best thing
all
to
of
you.
that stuff, then you can actually start to run that energy through your heart. So
Relive
like,
it.
you imagine that you breathe joy into your heart, or peace, and then you exhale joy or peace, and then you see that your surrounding is going to be filled up with this emotion. So this is really simple, but why this is so powerful? Not only because you're regulating your nervous system, but also because people around you, even animals, they sense that vibration, that frequency that your heart emanates.
Animals even more so than people. Well, animals understand it. People don't understand
Animals
People
react
sense
to it. They're more sensitive to it. People can be desanitized, but they are sensing it
it. They're
too.
affected by it.
They're
just don't know
affected
how to
by it,
deal with
exactly.
it, yeah.
So when you generate these positive renewing emotions in you, you're actually bringing that joy, that peace, that into your environment, into the world. So it's not just like for you and for your nervous system, but it's also like, for example, if you have a spouse who deals with anxiety or PTSD, you creating that joy and peace inside of yourself is going to help your spouse to become calmer
It's
and
contagious.
enjoy peace or experience peace. All right, so debates, negativity, past trauma all have the ability to pull us back into fight or flight. It's not a sin to think about, these things that happened to you in the past, but feeding the emotions that come with those thoughts are not going to support you. And this is where, people say feeding an emotion. What do you mean? Right? Or would you explain what that means?
I have to
David?
go to the bathroom too much to be able to explain.
Oh, great. I guess we lost David
You
for
lost
the
me
rest
for a
of the
minute.
show.
I gotta pee. It don't take me long to pee.
So, we're gonna have a urinal like in the studio, I guess, the recording studio, start moving forward. So, every single thought that we have actually creates an emotion. And every single emotion that is created in us drops a chemical cocktail in our blood flow. Those are usually known as hormones. Like I said, cortisol, or we have serotonin. It depends on what quality of thoughts or emotions we have going on. And so, having said that, if we have enough awareness to every single thought we circulate in our head every day, and we have awareness to know what kind of emotions, whether it's a negative or a positive emotion that we have attached to that thought or memory, past memory or debate or whatever, we have the ability of changing the train of our thoughts, right? So by changing, if something comes up in my mind that's negative, I just move on and I start thinking about something else. It's not that I don't have negative thoughts, it's that I work every single day on focusing my mind on the things that will pull me down, that will not pull me down, that will not generate negative emotions in me, because those negative emotions literally, physically weaken me. And there's also, for those of you who are interested in Bible scriptures, there is Romans 12:2, which says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And that scripture actually starts with, "Be not confirmed with the patterns of this word." And if you guys look at the patterns of this word, it's chaos, it's despair, it's hopelessness, it's hatred, it's fear, it's all of those things.
And all of that is fueled and controlled and manipulated by the media, who is pushing the news down you guys' throat. And you know what I learn most about the news? When I'm around all my community.
Exactly.
People tell me what's going on. I don't really, I don't look on Facebook and read you guys' stuff. I don't focus on I put stuff out there. I don't take stuff in. And then when I do, I'm being educated on the chaos of the world. I don't really care to have it. This is obvious something that we're trying to teach you. I am pointing my fingers at you. You do need to pull back on the media. You do need to pull back on what's going on in the news. You're not making a difference. They're making a difference.
And
the media is making a difference in your life.
And don't think that just because you're, a believer, you can justify your hatred or anxiety with religious views. That's the other thing where I think people totally go wrong with this whole spiritual warfare talk. I mean, yes, there is a spiritual warfare. It's inside of your mind. It's inside of how many times you can get rid of those negative thoughts, those negative emotions. That's where the war is happening. It's not outside, it's not in Israel, it's not in Palestine, it's not in your neighborhood, it's not in your I don't know, other church or whatever other denominations. It's not about that. So don't get caught up in that stuff, because people are not attracted to negative people. They're attracted to.
Well, negative people are attracted to negative
Well,
people.
right, but I mean, if you want to help other people, if you truly are thinking of yourself as a soul winner, you have to be able to emanate positive energies, and that's not gonna come from hating on anybody.
No, and I tell you what, there's positive. The children of God need to see the children of God. You got to be able to look at people who have God in them, and just because they don't know what you know, doesn't mean they don't have the truth. God is presenting Himself to each and every person on this planet. It's not up to you to say who's who. He presents Himself and He reveals Himself, and how someone has God revealed to them is up to God. I know Abraham was down worshiping idols one minute, and the next minute leaving all of his idol worshiping family and following this voice of God that spoke to him and told him to do something else. Get a grip. I'm tired of seeing this warfare among people. You can't win people to Jesus if you're a Christian, or you can't win people to Buddha if you're a Buddhist. If you're in war with folks and ridiculing them and cutting them down and telling them they don't have the truth and they can't go to heaven, that kind of stuff is just as aggravating to me as warfare on the media. The things that we're dealing with in this carnal world, it's just as aggravating to me as the religious stuff. And I'm for one not religious. I'm spiritual as all get out. I have the understanding of what the word religion means, as I believe in a God, a higher power than me. But having this religious mindset of how you look at people, that's what war is all. That's what all this politics and stuff's patterned after. Just exactly how the Christianity and religion has excuse me, but it's shaped and molded all of that, and that's what we're dealing with.
When I stopped fighting people and started being obsessed with helping people, regardless of their religious views or regardless of their political views, everything's changed for me personally. Because I no longer bring that kind of drama in my home and dwell on it, or in my mind, or in my being. When my intention is to help people,
That's a good place to amen.
Regardless of where they come from or what they're dealing with, then I don't have to prove to anybody that I'm better than anybody else, because it's not about who's better, it's about who's more helpful. So, that's just...
If we're going to be in a competition, let's be in a competition of who can be the kindest, who can help the most folks and be kind. Let's be in that kind of competition.
Now, I think the simple point is that every single choice that we make throughout the day or throughout our lives are going to influence how much stress we're dealing with, and then that's going to influence what kind of energy
you mean this puts it all back on each individual person?
Yes.
My goodness, I was going to blame everyone else for all this.
And so I just like to point out for those
choices
who think that we're totally crazy for living in the boondocks, is that this is one of the greatest decisions that I ever made in my life, to move as far away from civilization as I could without really sacrificing too much. Because it's okay for me to drive 30 minutes to the 20 minutes. It's actually not that bad. It's 20-30 minutes to the closest grocery store. I mean, it's okay.
Oh, but we choose to go a little further to another grocery store so we can get a different environment.
Well, I mean, it's not my,
I choose
fault.
I choose Ole Miss. I choose Oxford.
That the local grocery stores don't
carry the right amount of
cater to people like me. They cater to people who eat differently. So, anyways, kind of off subject.
You sounded a little upscale.
But upscale or snooty.
Rough sounds better if I say upscale than snooty.
Okay, so seriously, that the fact that I wake up to birds chirping and not, cars honking on the street, that changes everything for me. The fact that I don't run into 50 people who are gonna tell me how much they hate Democrats, every day or the other ways, that's great. I mean, I'm not interested in who you're hating or why you're hating them or how you think that you're better than them or smarter than all that stuff. Is like, leave it for the birds, please, because I am not into that.
I
kind
had
of
someone's,
stuff.
when I said something, I don't care about what Donald Trump does. And they're like, "It's your president. You ought to care what." You know what? As much as you've cared, he ain't done any difference. You ain't made a difference, and all it's done is tie your brain up into a wreck, and then you want to come wreck me with it. I don't
Well,
want to hear
here's
about it.
okay, so the research that I told you guys about watching the news, weakening your nervous system. Well, here's the deal. Actually, it's especially about global news. Because when you watch news that are like thousands of miles away from you, and you think that you have to have an emotion about it, that's like the total insanity of our society right now. You know what you should be worried about? Like
Your community.
your community, your environment, the people that you can reach, your neighbors,
Your daughter, your son,
daughter,
your wife,
exactly,
your dogs,
your church family, that
your new puppies.
and your new chickens or whatever it is, or projects that you have to complete each season of the year, that kind of stuff. That matters. That improves the quality of life. But worrying about what happens on another continent, how's that gonna ever help you?
I can change the world.
Yeah, by worrying about
changing the world one worry at a time.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna start a new show called "Changing the World One Worry at a Time."
And then there is another thing about like how people show love for other people or don't, is that it's really important to understand, in my opinion, that instead of going out and telling people what a great Christian you are, or what a great Buddhist you are, or what a great whatever you are, why don't you actually show how much you love God through your actions towards other people? Because how you love other people shows how much you love yourself, and how much you love yourself, it's a direct reflection of how much you love God. And when I say love yourself, I don't mean like, oh, I love that my hair is so pretty, and I got a six-pack and
you
all that
love
kind of
yourself
stuff.
by how you love your neighbor. That's how, Jesus had it right. Everyone's just confused. He said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Well, you show how much you love yourself by how you love your neighbor. But then he also said, "Love God with all thy heart." So the number one thing is love God. Then is love your neighbor as yourself. And then, so where's that leave you at? If you want to show how much you love yourself, it's going to be how you treat others, and how you show how you treat others shows how much you love God.
Yep.
So that shows all results down to how much you love yourself. Loving yourself and caring for yourself could be eating properly instead of the junk that we're all tempted to eat. I could run, even though we live way out here in the woods, I can run 7 minutes down to the pocket store corner and get me some jail food, and I do it sometimes. It's the flesh in us that craves something that we're used to, that it makes us feel good right away. And I do it. I'm a human. That's something that I've been able to cut out of my life more and more the longer we've lived out here and the more I focus on it. But it's work. It's something I have to look at. And that is me loving myself. Mm-hmm. How I care for myself. I remember when I went to the crazy house, when you left me for too long and I ended up in the crazy house. Mm-hmm. Remember that? Mm-hmm. The ladies inside that place said, I had two ladies come in and say, "I like how this man takes care of himself." Mm-hmm. Because they saw me in the morning, I'm turning down all their medicines. I don't want your medicine. I won't drink your water. I'm drinking water that my wife brought up here from our alkaline water. And I'm also taking supplements and vitamins and nutrients that help my redox molecules. I made sure I had every bit of it lined out on the counter. That showed how much I loved myself.
You probably also prayed every day. You probably also
I stretched and prayed,
read
and
your
of course,
Bible.
I talked with everybody in there,
And those are all practical steps, okay? So praying, meditation, stretching, pulling yourself back from drama and debates
man,
and,
if I can
and
do it,
draining
you guys can do it.
situations. Practice, like breathing practices, journaling, gratitude journaling is amazing. Like reading every single morning, what I'm grateful for is like one of the best practices. Like awareness, like self-awareness practices. Like at the end of the day, I have a win of the day, I have a lesson of the day, and I have a commitment of the day written out, which means that I tell to myself, because I want to improve, I want to grow, and I want to live in peace and joy. I tell myself what I was grateful for, what was the best thing. I remind myself what was the best thing that happened to me today. The lesson of the day is great. You should learn something every single day. If you go to bed without learning something that day, you're not doing everything that you can do for the health of your brain. So the lesson of the day is about that. And then finally, the commitment of the day, you want to be a better person, right? Renewing your mind means that you're growing, you're becoming a better person, you're
We're at
becoming a
40
stronger
minutes.
person. That is also fueled by being critical to yourself and saying, this is where I have the ability to improve. If you don't know what you can improve in your personality, you're never going to improve anything.
That's good.
So
food.
gaining
That's
clarity
good food.
on that is super important. Eating healthy, taking your supplements, drinking good water, sleep hygiene, all of those things are going to create peace in your life, and they're going to allow you to renew your mind and just to live a fuller, a healthier, and a happier life.
Dr. PhilGood, I'd like to take this moment to look you in your Facebook eyes
Yeah, Facebook eyes.
and say that's what I love the most about you, is the fact that through all the chaos that we had, and we had a lot, we still have chaos. It's a lot less than what your chaos is, but because of I got enough allostatic load that we've maintained keeping lower and lower and lower. You throw in a dog getting bit and a neighbor with
An angry neighbor.
excusing themselves for being whatever, undisciplined. Then my allostatic load goes up, but it's not like yours. Someone else could handle that a little better than me. So what I have to know is about myself. Like I was able to look at this person and say, I can't do this right now. You need to leave because I'm going to scream. Being aware of what's going on with you is important. If you're always aware of only what other folks are doing, you're not self-aware, okay? If you're always pointing out this person and this person, you know what I call people that point out other people's issues all the time? They're that person that's screaming about the woods being on fire and the only one carrying matches. Everywhere they go, it's on fire. They don't get it. Gasoline hanging out the back pocket,
Right.
just pouring all over the place. Become self-aware. It means you have to stop and look at yourself. And sometimes you don't have anyone to point it out to you because you won't listen to anybody.
Well,
So,
listen to yourself.
maybe
That's
you
why
could-
cultivating self-awareness is important.
Keeping a camera. You know, when I didn't believe people said I did the things I did back in the day, you know what I started doing? I started documenting. Now we've got this really great movie I've documented for decades about my life and what I did back then. I didn't think of no way in the world I could do those things. And I didn't believe them. But after recording and finding the truth and knowing myself, I knew what I was capable of now. And I learned a lot about myself by doing that. So my advice is if you don't see the issues that you have, then start recording yourself. What you'll see is if you record yourself, every conversation you have with other folks, and then you sit back at the end of the day and you listen to the conversations you have with people and hear the words that are coming out of your mouth, you'll be embarrassed about yourself. I guarantee you there'll be things that you go, oh, I shouldn't say stuff like that.
So two things that I would like for you guys to remember. Number one is peace is not handed to us. It does not come from outside sources. Peace is something that we have to work on and we have to generate it internally. So whether you're doing it or not, that kind of shows a lot about you. And then two, renewing your mind is the result of your daily choices. Okay, renewing your mind is not like you sign up on a class and you do it in a week and then you're done. Renewing your mind is something that happens
daily.
That's something that has to happen daily, and it does or does not happen daily based on what kind of choices we make in every single moment of our life.
Amen.
So
right now, if you're watching, that'd be a time to tap the screen.
Thank you guys for watching it. Thank you, Jasmine, for bringing up this idea. That was really great. I'm very appreciative for it. If anybody else wants to chip in with great ideas, please go ahead and comment. Or if you're ready to experience peace and you want to hear more of what we were just talking about here, or you need it in writing, or any kind of tools particularly that we talked about today,
she's available to
just comment.
I want to bring something up.
Just comment
before
peace.
you close up. Comment peace
in the chat, and then I'll get back to you.
I want to bring something up before we close out. We're getting ready to do the sponsor and all that.
We're getting ready to do that, yes.
So, how do you help yourself externally? How can you do something to bring all this chaos that's around you and the toxins around you? What can you do to help bring that load down to be able to, okay, so if I can do it, you can do it. But there's things I'm doing to help me during these moments of heavy loads of stress. And one of those ways, and we've got a white paper to prove it, and scientific studies have proven it, that the cytokines, the inflammatories that go crazy in my brain due to the injuries, IL-B1 and IL-6, are decreasing by taking redox molecules that I take. Just taking them for 60 days decreases IL-B1, 6, I think it is. No, it's the IL-LB. It decreases it by 16.6% in 60 days. Now, you take that for 120 days, 89% decrease in those cytokines. At the same time, I get 14% increased production of glutathione in my body. Glutathione is the thing that decreases inflammation in your body. The master antioxidant, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So I'm at the same time, what am I doing? I'm helping myself every day by taking something everyone calls a little salt water or snake oil. Not everyone. People that don't understand it. Saline, transports a lot of things. You go to the hospital, one of the first things they're going to do is pump saline through your veins. But it's transporting these redox molecules into my body, which is affecting my allostatic load in a huge way. Because what it does is, first of all, like I said, 90% almost, 89% decrease in the number one cytokine, the inflammatory in my brain that causes chaos, 90% decrease. Because I'm taking it for
IL-1, actually, the IL-B6 is
the
one that's harder to reduce.
Yeah, but I'm still getting a 14% decrease on that one. And that one's one that's hard to have an effect on. But the massive amount of help I'm getting from what God intended me to have, He intended us to have these redox molecules doing the job because He created us with them. The toxins that we're putting in our mouth, this is the decision. She's saying your choices that you make matter. Because when you choose to do this, you're putting it in your mouth and you're consuming it. You're putting it in your ears and you're consuming it. It affects the inside of you, and that affects outwardly. Everyone, everything in your life is affected by this. So there's one way you can do it. Everyone wants an easy way out. This is one of the easy ways out. You don't have to sit and meditate on it. You don't have to believe in it. I don't need you to believe in it. My dogs, my animals, they don't believe in it. They don't have that ability. They just take what I give them, and it makes them better. When they're sick, they take the redox molecules, it makes them better. So that's something that you could do personally. And my wife can help you find out how to do that. By the way, you can contact her. Not me, I'm too busy.
You're right. All right, so thank you for the Patrick City Awareness Foundation for making all of our shows possible
Thank you,
so
Karen and
far.
Doug.
Thank you very much for the equipment that we
And soon when I have it
donated
running,
for us.
I'll be able to push a
to us.
button in your fancy commercials.
And we're still
Oh, come
working
on.
on getting
Oh, I'm
it
so
set up
excited about it.
completely, but we're very, very grateful for it. And so for all of those who are interested in what the Patrick City Awareness Foundation is all about,
Go to stopcte.org.
and find out about their mission and how they help families that are similar to ours.
You can go into our profile, mine personally, and you can find our Create Foundation link where you can donate to Stop Suicide Foundation, which is the special project of the Create Foundation here in Tupelo, Mississippi.
I'm gonna drop a comment on my Facebook where you can follow me and sign up on my email list if you're interested in what we're doing, or if you would actually like to
Hey, we had an
look. If you would like to look at my storefront.
We did have our subscriber, one and only Facebook subscriber, jump into the Redox market with us and took it this week. I'm excited for you,
Oh,
Karen.
yes.
I just wanted to throw it out there. I'm excited for you.
She's only been on it for a week, and I can't share her. She didn't allow me to share her testimony yet. I'm really hoping that she will, but it's unbelievable, you guys, what you can
I'm
get
really
out of
happy
it.
for you.
It's not everybody who experiences fabulous things like her in 1 week, but she definitely had a very, very positive experience, and we're very, very excited about it. So, thanks, Karen.
You want help? We're here to help you. And we're, as an example, folks. If I can do any of this, if I can be calm, if I can get healthy, if I can smile and dance through the storms, you can too. Because I'm in way worse conditions 6 years ago than you guys could. You couldn't even have a conversation with me back then.
And also, I'm gonna throw it in there that you guys do not dismiss this opportunity because you think you cannot afford it. Okay, we couldn't afford it either. We were the same mindset and same situation back then.
Ooh, that's expensive. I ain't got money to do that.
Yeah, and so that's why I quit taking it after 3 months. It was just mind blowing when I realized that all the headaches that I had before they were gone. So it's not all of a sudden we realized
And then
that
it's worth it.
we realized that yeah, we can afford it. It don't matter what we have to do. We're just gonna do whatever we have to do, and then this technology is distributed in a way where you can earn with it if that's what you need. So this is how we could get to the point where we are with it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you to the point is they're showing up with cases, like 3 cases now, because I'm taking 16 ounces a day. Folks, I started out with 4 ounces a day. 4 ounces a day kept me from running to the bathroom, so my prostate got the most of the healing in the beginning. But I stayed faithful at that little bitty amount, 4 ounces every day for 4 years.
2 years.
2 years. Then we moved me to 8 ounces. Then I finally have gone to 16 ounces. Now we're finally, I'm taking enough redox molecules where I personally can feel the change. I can personally feel the punch of health that I'm just, everyone else is experiencing me getting better. I wasn't. And I personally am experiencing it now because I'm taking enough of it. And I'm excited about it. I want to share it with everybody. I've been quiet about it for all this time. I want to make sure that what I was doing was effective and good for me. And I'm overall just thrilled as all get out with it. Thanks for bringing it to me, Fru. I owe you a big one.
Oh well,
Yeah, I'll
thanks,
give you one.
thanks Danielle Matthews, and thank God for divinely, what's the word?
Well, it's like what she
Arrange-
posted that
arrange
caused a
that
little
meeting
conflict
with
within
her.
people. Good things come to me, and the universe flows out. Thank you, God, for bringing good things to my wife through Asia, and the goodness of God flowing through you and out of you that it affected me, and it's affected others. Many of you out there are affected by the goodness that flows through my wife. Thank you.
And through her too. So thanks, Danielle. All
Oh,
right.
thanks, Danielle.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys. We'll see you next week at 11:11 a.m. Central Time.
If you're lucky. Maybe I'll have this studio flowing by then.
Maybe.
Maybe. Hi, Marie.